and I need help. And then he goes and he gets help, and he's doing really good, and you can even see the clearness in his eyes, and how he's kind of rehabilitating. Yeah. The dog is really cute in this. It's ridiculous. And they seem to. Allie is trying to work with him and kind of bring him back into her music and make them kind of this duo. And the manager's really not happy.
He's like, nah, we're not having that.
Like, that cannot happen. Absolutely not. No way. And she's like, well, fuck it. Then just cancel my whole tour because I'm not doing it without him. Even though in the back of her mind she knows that she has to.
Yeah.
And, eventually. And so the next step is he's fine, and then they cut to this crazy scene where Jackson is talking to her manager, and he tells him how he really feels about him. He starts off with saying, we're not exactly friends here. And then Jackson just kind of looks at him like, what do you mean? And he tells him, she's looked at as an embarrassment just by staying with you, by not leaving you, with what you did, and he basically just fucking drags him through the mud. And like Diego, reiterating what Diego says, that was a huge trigger for him. And hitting the rewind button a little bit, going back to when he was in rehab. He tells one of the therapists there that when he was 13 he tried to hang himself
with a belt from his
because his dad, who was kind of abusive and didn't really pay attention to him, it was almost like he wanted to see if people would care. You know what I mean? And when he did, or at least that time when he tried to hang himself, he talks about how the fan fucking ripped out of the
smashed
ceiling.
him in his face.
Yeah, and he got fucked up, and he was mad about it. And so that kind of mirrors, and it really hit me hard because I didn't really see it coming, but it mirrors what he does in the end.
Yeah, it comes full circle almost.
Yeah, he, because of what the manager says, that night he's supposed to go and perform with Allie, and they're gonna do Shallow or something as his big comeback with them. And the manager, he just keeps thinking about the manager saying, like, she's never gonna tell you to your face that you're holding her back. She's never gonna leave you. You have to leave her. Like, for her to reach her full potential, you cannot be around.
Yeah.
And so he takes that to the biggest extreme. Well, if I'm no longer relevant, if I'm no longer here in the picture, of course, because he would never divorce her or be able to live without her, he says, I'll just take myself out in the most permanent way.
Yeah.
And he hangs himself in his garage, but this time it works.
Yeah.
And there's this crazy, that kind of long, like, disturbing shot
in
of
the driveway.
Yeah, where you just see his fucking, like, legs dangling. It's just super intense.
That sucked, seeing the dog just sit there
waiting
in front of the garage door, and then just kind of, you can hear him kind of whimpering, and then he kind of just lays down. It's like, man, that sucks.
Damn, Charlie.
Yeah. And you see when he gave him the steak, fat ass T-bone
as a last meal.
I was like, fuck, you didn't even eat that. You gave it to your dog. Fucking dope. He said, fuck me, I don't need this. I'm not gonna be hungry where I'm going.
I love the ending of this movie. When she's performing, that made me like tear up a lot. Yeah, and then it goes back to them,
the flashbacks when they're on stage together. Oh, that was beautiful.
That was so amazing. That was really, really well put. And then in the soundtrack, it actually comes out.
They do that cut too. Because so what these two gentlemen are talking about is, at the end she does her last bit, and it's basically in memory of her husband. But instead of just having her kind of cut with the ballot, they cut back to, in the middle of her last track, to him, because that's the song he had wrote for her specifically.
Yeah.
They cut back to him alive with her, kind of showing her the structure at their piano.
Yeah.
And so you're left ingrained with that image of them together, even though he's gone.
Yeah.
And so it's so effective right there.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the end of the film.
Fuck yeah.
Highly recommend this if you haven't seen it.
Yeah. Definitely.
If you're in San Diego and you like going to the movies, Rooftop Cinema Club have been playing this a couple times a month.
Yeah.
They'll be playing it all summer, so go check it out.
And they have a single. Is it a sing along or?
I think they do.
Yeah, they have like a sing along.
Nice, that'd be really cool.
I know Bohemian Rhapsody had a sing along, which I went to. It was super dope.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Nice.
It was super dope.
Swan facts.
Shout out to Vic.
Yeah, shout out to him.
Swan.
Thank you for bringing us that little sweet mini mix.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was
really good. Really fucking dope.
It's great to have you back, man. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Anaris, always. It'd be fun. Anyway, sorry. Swan facts. Swan facts. This is actually the third remake for this story, as it seems to be a generational tradition.
Okay.
I know we talked about that a little bit already. The long road to making the film first started in 2011 with Beyonce as the lead. The film couldn't step out of development phase for quite a while, with such stars attached like Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Cruise, and Christian Bale.
Wow.
Finally, in 2016, Bradley signed on to direct with Gaga shortly following.
Nice.
The movie has went on to be a massive hit, with critics raving about the film as well. On a budget of $36 million, the movie has grossed $434 million worldwide.
Wow. That's
They
made their money back.
Yeah.
safe to say.
Yeah.
It was hailed as one of the best films of 2018 by the American Film Institute. It was also nominated 8 times for the Academy Awards, with Gaga picking up a win for Best Original Song, which was for Shallow, I believe.
Okay.
It was also nominated for an additional 5 awards from the Golden Globes. Bradley had a huge connection with his character Jackson Maine because of his actual past struggles with addiction and alcohol.
Wow.
So no wonder why he has that down so well.
Played it pretty good.
I actually didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Some concert footage was actually shot at Coachella 2017, but people's phones were temporarily taken to prevent leaked footage. I guess you pay $10 and you could go in and be part of the crowd that we see.
Oh,
in the
nice.
Film. Pretty interesting. Willie Nelson's son, Lucas Nelson, actually taught Bradley how to play guitar for the film. They jammed every night for roughly a year so that Jackson's stage presence would feel more authentic.
Nice. That's cool.
I know, it's crazy, right? Warner Brothers were actually not sold on hiring Gaga as the lead for the role, so Bradley had to really fight for her to be brought on board.
That's crazy.
They even, I think they covered a Creedence Clearwater Revival song at her house in front of like her piano or something to, I guess, in like to show them that they had this kind of weird chemistry together. And then they were like, oh, okay. We got it.
She's in.
Even before Sam Elliott accepted the role of Jackson's older brother, Bradley had a professional teach him Elliott's dialect so he would sound more like Sam.
I sound more related.
So he's actually mimicking Sam Elliott's, like his demeanor.
Yeah.
Which you can totally see. But someone, someone who doesn't know Sam Elliott's work is never going to pick up on that. So I thought it was very interesting.
That's cool.
Nice.
He sounds so good. Like, you would never think that he talks the way he is. Like, that same person is Rocket.
Right, yeah.
It's fucking mind blowing right there. The shooting schedule for this was 42 days.
Oh wow,
That's
pretty short.
Yeah, right. It was Gaga's idea to add dialogue within the soundtrack release as a way for fans to constantly relive the major beats of the film. I actually have this soundtrack, and that is one of my favorite parts because it goes like through every
remembering the movie as it goes.
It's great.
It's like, did you ever see that movie Once?
Yeah.
It's like that soundtrack reminds me of this soundtrack.
Yeah.
Shout out to Once.
Once is good. That's like what, 2010, something like that.
Nah, that's 2008 to
2008.
2008.
Oh, it's even older. Okay.
2007, somewhere around this age.
Crazy.
I went to go see it in the movie theaters.
Cooper said he based his character's musical tone after Neil Young. During the world premiere at the Venice Film Festival, the building was struck by lightning in the middle of the film, which caused the power outage, obviously, and the crowd had to wait nearly half an hour for the film to continue. And that's where I'll leave you. Swan facts.
Swan facts.
That's pretty cool.
We didn't get your score. What did you give this?
I give it an 8.
James, an 8. Okay, all right.
We fluctuate with our scores sometimes.
We do. Definitely in the realm of we're all thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Anything else? What are we doing? How are we wrapping this up? Let's wrap it up next.
How are we?
Good, man. How was your James went to
The Cancun.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was
How
fun.
was that?
It was fucking sorry. It was it was super humid.
I bet.
It was like 75 to 80% humidity.
Ooh.
So it was like
sticky.
Yeah, it was. You walk anywhere outside without the AC, and your shirt's like stuck to you.
You're toast
for the rest of the day. But yeah, other than that, it was pretty fun. It was nice to come home and enjoy the weather of San Diego. But the vacation was awesome. Got to see a bunch of. Went to Chichen Itza.
Yeah.
The pyramids and stuff. That was dope. Wish you could have climbed on them, but they stopped doing that like 10 years ago.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were.
A lot of people doing stupid shit on the top of the pyramid. Like people to go up there and fucking light it up, blaze up, and be like, "Yeah, let me top of the world."
Is that really?
That's the tour guide. He told us, yeah. Oh. And then I think one person fell because they were like trying to take a picture and they're like backing up and fell off of stepped off of the stairs.
I wouldn't know.
Like an idiot.
Did you get to see the sunrise or sunset?
No, not
from the Chichen Itza?
No.
Do you want to hear something interesting about
what's
it?
that?
So you know those serpent heads in the bottom?
Oh yeah, and it makes the
it makes the snake. The snake.
Yeah.
And it's there in sunrise and sunset. It's always a good old nod. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But
it was pretty cool to see that stuff though, just to kind of hear the history, and went to some beaches and
that beautiful beaches down in Quintana Roo.
Yeah, it was good. It was fun. Definitely recommend if no one's been to Cancun to go
check it out
in that area. Yeah. Fucking hot though, so wear some light clothes.
Yeah,
nice. What else, guys? I know. Thank you, everyone, from the past, or the future, for coming to our Inglorious Bastards.
Yes.
Hopefully, hopefully it was a sellout.
I know we've sold some unknown number of tickets pre-sale.
Oh, really?
So. Any pre-sale tickets is a win for me.
That's a good sell, yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's a good sign.
And we always get the crazy walk-ins later. So, thank you, everybody, for coming out and supporting your local art house cinema, supporting Quentin Tarantino. Yeah. Thank you, Allied San Diego, for coming and handing out stuff from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for volunteering to do that.
Yeah.
We're just, humble fans, and it's so fun to have some kind of influence on our community. That's what we're trying to do. That's why